Hello there, and welcome to our very first review of an MCU property proper on this channel. Joining me, as always, the Sith Holocron Naomi.
We just got back from seeing Mom.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mom in a while, so we went to see Mom.
What are you talking about? You saw it 2 days ago.
I know, it was a while since I'd seen Mom.
A while.
Yeah. And it is I, the Jedi Holocron Tyler, and we are here to review Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
We're reviewing Doctor Strange's Mom.
Yes. Doctor Strange's Mom, about a 7 out of 10. She's got a good... I don't know where I was going to go.
I was going to say 9 out of 10.
Yeah. So yes, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Naomi, what did you think of it?
I thought it was good.
Thought it was good?
Mm-hmm. I never know what to say when you ask me that.
What you liked about it?
Like, yeah, but I it's like it's like choice paralysis, you know?
Yeah.
I hear that and I'm just like, It brings me back to the days of when I was in school.
Oh.
When people would ask me a question, I'm just like...
Oh shit. I get that. I get that a lot. It can be overwhelming.
Choice paralysis.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is an interesting movie.
Yes.
I was extremely hyped for it because the Queen, Wanda supremacy, it's all that matters.
Yeah, you're an OG Wanda simp.
Yeah. I've liked Wanda for way too long in the MCU, just because I've always liked the actress.
Yeah, you liked her in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I forgot that movie happened.
It is forgettable.
Don't remember anything that happened in it.
We gotta rewatch it then.
Do we, though?
No. But I was extremely hyped for this movie. So, this review is coming after my second viewing.
Yes.
The first viewing was like a fever dream. It was a lot. Because, one, the movie was not at all what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming as a Wanda stan, seeing her be a bad guy, even though I knew she was going to have her villain arc, but I didn't think that she was going to go full villain in this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about it when we got in the car after seeing it, and I thought that this was going to be, like, more of, like her falling.
Yeah.
Like, this would be, like, her anti-hero arc.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just, like, throughout the movie, she'd just start getting worse. And,
Yeah.
like, set her up for another... something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised to see her be full villain in this one.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing her go full villain, seeing the extent of her powers, her brutality. But like, I was like you said, I was hoping for more of like that little like the fall.
Yeah, the drop off.
Because she seemed in a decent place, a better place after WandaVision. But then again, she did have the Darkhold. And from what I understand, I cannot confirm, I don't know how long this is after WandaVision, but I read an article from a site that I don't know if it's trustworthy or not, like one of the, like a fan site that talks about, like, that said possibly 2 years, which seems like a long time to have to see you fall from, like, which was 2 years with Darkhold will fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, I mean, she did have to erase her kids.
Yeah. I know, yeah. I was listening to a podcast.
Maybe a little traumatic.
Yeah. About this, and one of the points they brought up, which I found interesting with the whole Wanda of it all, was it would have been a lot more impactful, like, because, like, you know how the Darkhold, like, has that hold on her. It would have been interesting if, like, we saw something trying to tug at her humanity throughout the movie, like Vision, or like her, like, I guess, like, not actually Vision because we know where he's at, but like,
well, yeah,
like Vision in her, like one of these, like, multiverses, like, Vision's alive. Like, that would have been interesting to, like, have him in, like, one of the, like, have him in the dimension she's, like, they're in, and then her being like, Wanda, like, that would fuck her up, too, and, like,
yeah,
it would have been interesting. But I love seeing her go bad guy. I support Wanda. I will say this now, and I will say this forever. I support women's rights. but also women's wrongs. So, she did a lot of wrongs in this movie, and I support her for them.
You really...
You not... What?
I just didn't anticipate that being what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Let it be known, I support women's rights.
But also,
You sound like you're on the
wrongs.
stand.
I know. No. Okay.
You running for president?
But I'll tell you what before we keep diving into other things, I'll tell you what my biggest problem with this movie is.
Okay.
Not with the movie itself. This movie is definitively, in my opinion, the worst marketed MCU movie of all time. I feel like every big moment was shown in the trailer. There was no shot that was awesome that wasn't in the trailer, maybe other than the music fight, which was cool, that wasn't in the trailer. But you literally get the climactic moment with Wanda at the end is a shot in the trailer. You get all the versions of Strange in the trailer. You get fucking Professor X in the trailer. You get every cameo pretty much in the trailers except for Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, which is the big one, and then Black Bolt, but like that's not that interesting. So when you market this as a multiverse movie and you spoil all the cameos in the trailer, I'm like, oh shit, there's gonna be so many more.
Yeah.
It didn't need more, but in my head I'm like, this movie is jumping into the multiverse, exploring it, but it really didn't.
Yeah.
It was more of just like the contained, like, this was honestly a Wanda movie almost as much as it was a Doctor Strange movie.
Absolutely.
Because she drives the plot completely. And, like, her in America, I guess, because she is the only reason they can travel the multiverse.
Yeah.
But, I was just like, I was not expecting that. So after my first viewing, I was like, this is weird. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, they didn't address multiverse stuff, and there wasn't as many cameos as I thought. So I had my expectations way too high, especially after No Way Home. Like, it's funny, like, because No Way Home comes out, and we know both Spider-Man are going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But somehow it, like, lives up to the hype.
Beyond. They weren't marketed, though, were they?
No, they were never marketed. They were leaked to all hell.
I think that's a big thing that did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is a perfect example of why I don't watch any trailers.
Because going out of my first viewing, I was like, I wasn't disappointed, but I didn't like it. I thought it was going to be like one of my favorite MCU movies. But I enjoyed it thoroughly, though. It was very good. I've seen it twice. I would go see it again. Like, I love it. I love it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's part of the reason why I hate trailers. Mm-hmm. I don't fuck with them. Yeah. Especially when it's for stuff that I know I'm going to see anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to watch every Marvel movie that comes out.
Right.
I don't need to see any... That's what I mean. Like, I want more stealth releases. Don't show me any trailer. Just drop it.
Like, we don't need another Thor trailer. We'll fine.
Yeah, we'll see it.
Yeah, we have the 1 minute, 30-second trailer. That's all we need.
Yeah. Like, so that made it perfect for me, because I didn't know any of the shit. I didn't know that Professor X was confirmed.
Yeah.
Was that what you were talking about? Because you said they spoiled something big, and...
No, because... And they were... Leading up, like, 2 weeks before, they kept doing, like, trailers. They're like, a Wanda trailer. And in one of the trailers, it showed Captain Carter. I'm like, God damn it. Even though, like, they tease her on the poster, I'm like, you don't need to show her in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
That was my problem with the movie the first time, because I didn't have my expectations set right, so it didn't live up to the hype. But...
It's weird, because they did No Way Home right with that.
Yeah.
By, like, not showing much.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd they fuck it up here?
I don't know. Apparently I heard Kevin Feige was not happy with how much they were showing in the trailers, which is weird since he's in charge, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't...
There's, like, the same vibe as whenever, like, a politician's like, man, shit's real bad right now. What are we gonna do about this?
Yeah. Because... As much as this movie, I thought was going to, like, break the multiverse wide open, it more set up the rules of the multiverse. Like, the incursions, the dreams, how America's the only one that can travel, and how she's, like, the only one who doesn't have variants, and, like, all that kind of stuff. Which I think it did a good job doing. I'm excited to see them, like... I'm sure a lot of these next few movies are going to be, like... When multiverse are going to be, like, people fighting incursions. Like the end credits scene is... Clea coming to get Doctor Strange. It looks like they're going to Dormammu, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what... Like, if he did create an incursion, like... Because they reference a point in the I don't remember the universe, but the other universe that's New York with all the Illuminati. Because the Illuminati, I thought, was like the multiverse of, like, the Multiverse Avengers. Like, they're all from different universes, but this Illuminati was apparently that, like, it's Illuminati universe by universe, which is interesting, which I like. But, like, I thought, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
I thought it was going to be like multiverse spanning Illuminati. Yeah. Like, it was going to be like the best of the best from each universe.
Yeah. But it's just they were all the best of the best from that one universe.
They were all the best. They were essentially that universe's version of the Avengers.
Yeah. But fuck, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I have no. It was about the rules of the multiverse, and fuck yeah, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back.
I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, they're going about it more slowly with the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, it took them a long fucking time to get around to Infinity Stones.
Right. Yeah.
And then they kind of rapid fire introduced a bunch of them right at the end, but, like, you know, I feel like they're kind of doing the same thing where they're just kind of putting their foot in.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I prefer.
Yeah. Like I said, I was a victim to marketing.
Yeah, you were very much a victim of marketing.
I do enjoy this movie, though. It's number 10 on my list, so.
Yeah, I very much, because, like, yeah, I would have, if it would have been, like, full crazy multiverse, I would have been like, I kind of would have wanted to see, like, more of an introductory.
Yeah, it did do a good job of setting it up.
Than just dive in head first.
Mm-hmm. I just also find it incredibly weird that the end events of Loki have just, like, not been addressed yet in the MCU.
Is that still, like, the furthest point?
It has to be, right?
Like, that can't have happened yet, right?
I don't think so. That's the confusing
part. But also,
that's the multiverse that's weird.
I'm always confused by Loki in general, because didn't the guy, like, quarantine this timeline? Wasn't that the whole thing?
What do you mean?
Well, like, when they killed him, that was when the branches started going crazy.
Yeah.
Because wasn't he keeping it from branching? So how are there multiverses? Is that different than timeline dimensions?
It has to be, yeah.
Why are there two different...
So there's the multiverse, right? And then there's... Which is a different universe. But... So does every multiverse have a TVA that keeps the timeline in order? I'm confused now.
And does each one of those have infinite branching timelines in that universe? But then each universe in the multiverse has their own...
My brain's broke now. Fuck.
Do you see why I don't like when they mess with time?
Yeah.
It's so easy to immediately get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. But honestly, with the multiverses, you're just going to have to, like... That's a part of it.
The multiverses is just give up.
Yeah.
Don't try and understand. You won't.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of that, personally.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this whole... saga, or whatever you would call it, of Marvel, like the multiversal saga, is probably gonna end up being my least favorite.
Yeah, probably.
Because I do not... It'll be too... when I can't, like, keep track of it, that's when I start, like, stopping to care.
Because I had not fully thought about that until this moment. Because, like, one of the things I keep thinking, like, why haven't they addressed the end of
Loki?
Like, but, like, and then I'm like, wait, how...
what's the difference?
Like, what's, like, difference between a timeline and a multiverse? And so does each timeline make a new universe? And because obviously there's hundreds of thousands of multiverses, right?
Well, the whole thing with a multiverse is it's an infinite number.
Yeah.
The whole concept of the grander scheme of a concept of a multiverse is essentially any decision you make branches into two separate universes, no matter how small that decision is. So there are an infinite number of universes identical to this one, where it's just like, oh, you decided to take a drink of water 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
And there's just infinite numbers of those, because it's never ending.
Okay. So I'm guessing there's only, like, one TVA then.
I don't know. I have no fucking clue. Because are the timeline branches then different?
Are they different multiverse?
Or is it that the timeline is, like, they have a TVA for each universe, and so, like, the timeline branching is more, or, like, less different?
Yeah, it's like just minimal changes.
It's like the same people, but just like different choices. Whereas like multiverses appear to be, that's where they have different actors playing different characters. Is that the distinction?
I don't know.
And like multiverse seems like they can, like multiverse is obviously more wide-reaching. Like they went into the paint dimension and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly like that's where all the like really weird dimensions are. Mm-hmm. But for like the standard ones, like the Illuminati one, like what makes that different from like a timeline alternate?
Yeah. Because that's what I was wondering after we left, because I was talking with our friend James, and I was like, so they because I was wondering like if they're gonna keep that guy as Reed Richards, right? Jim from The Office, And I'm like, they seem to like stick with actors for the most part, even in the multiverse thing. Like, it's just in that timeline, Haley or Captain Carter, probably the same actress, ended up becoming Captain America. Or like in that timeline, Monica Rambeau's mom instead of what's her name? So I feel like they haven't done like a real like recast of a character in a multiverse. And even like the Black Bolt was the same actor from the TV show.
Well, I feel like a big part of it is obviously like recognizability.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, the big obvious one is the different Spider-Men.
That's true. Yeah.
That are different people.
Yeah.
Different actors.
Yep.
And so I feel like they use the same actors because
that's different though, because yes, that's true, but also like those are universes that existed before the MCU.
Yes, but I'm saying that
so it can't happen. But I'm saying, will the MCU do it? But yeah, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just trying to explain. I'm just trying to get a grasp on the rules.
Yeah.
Because
we'll be podcasting for 3 hours to get a grasp on the rules.
And I'm sure it's explained in the comics.
I'm sure it is.
Like the difference between the timeline TVA thing and then the Doctor Strange multiverse thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're the same thing. I have no idea.
Yes.
Which would kind of be funny if it was the same thing, because that just means that, like, her, America? Was that her name?
America Chavez, yeah.
Her powers really aren't that special then? Because, like, the TVA can...
Yeah, it has to be different.
They have to be different, right?
Yeah. So does every multiverse have a TVA? Probably.
Oh my god.
But I assume not every multiverse has an Illuminati. It's just, like...
No, that's clearly a circumstantial thing because it was made by the different choices that
because they had discovered the multiverse in that universe because of Doctor Strange.
Well, and it was also that was created because of like different choices that Doctor Strange himself made.
Yeah. See, actually, this kind of reminds me of the point I was trying to make when I lost track about how I was like, how they were talking about how that Doctor Strange made an incursion and destroyed 2 multiverses, right? Because he was using the Darkhold like Wanda was. I was like, what if he was the one who was controlling the Doctor Strange from What If to try to save Christine, even though that probably wouldn't make sense, but like, because like we know of at least 2 now. Well, because that universe collapsed in on itself.
Yes,
but that wasn't an intrusion. That was fucking up the timeline.
That was just So
there's a sacred timeline for a multiverse. See, this is weird.
So does each universe have its own sacred timeline?
Or does that just happen in specific universes?
Or is our universe the only one with a sacred timeline?
Because we're the canon one, the 616.
I have no fucking idea.
It's fascinating.
And that's where it starts to lose me.
Yeah.
Because that's when my brain just has a hard time. Because you already are dealing with infinity when you're dealing with multiverses. Yeah. Then if each of those infinities has their own infinity with their own timeline spreading.
Yeah.
Not that it makes much of an impact, because we'll never see any of it.
Yeah.
But, like, it just is one of those things where it's, like, it overwhelms. It gives me, like, a sensory overload.
Right. Yeah, that's not a problem for me, especially if they decide not to explore. Like as long, if they never go too deep into another multiverse. They gotta go deep enough, but not, like... Because, like, there's,
I feel like the incursions were their way of being like, oh, we're not going to go too deep.
Yeah. And if we do go too far, we can just collapse it in on itself.
It can just die. Yeah.
No, because an interesting theory I heard...
They should kill the Morbius universe like that.
I'd like to think that's not part of the multiverse.
No, but I want it to be so then they can destroy it.
You can't destroy it with Sony in charge.
So?
No, but someone. Okay, you know Professor X in this movie. He has the big like yellow chair.
I was gonna ask about that. It seemed huge.
Yes. From what I understand, I've never seen this show, but I saw on the internet recently that apparently, you know the X-Men animated series from the 90s.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard of it before.
Apparently, it looks exactly like Professor X from that movie or from that show.
Okay.
And they are making a sequel to that show for Disney Plus, an anime series called X-Men 97, which is supposed to be a sequel to that show, but some people think that this universe is where that original X-Men show takes place because of the Professor X.
Stop hitting the table.
Yeah.
Which is also funny then, because then he just fucking died.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he's hella older, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. If it wasn't going to be that, it was going to be breaking a hip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Okay.
Which is interesting.
I thought
I like the multiverse as a way to tie in other universes that we kind of love but don't care much about the MCU and like use them, like
Daredevil, like you and me,
and like
yeah,
and like how they brought in like the other Spider-Man. And...
Yeah, but we care about Garfield.
Yeah, don't go.
Rest in peace, our king.
Yeah. Wait, he's dead.
Well, hopefully he never goes into Morbius.
Oh yeah, hopefully not.
Praise God. Yeah. Well, yeah. We could do a 7-hour video just trying to comprehend the timeline multiverse thing. So let's change gears here.
Okay, I'll propose a question then.
Okay.
You're not a horror fan. What did you think of the horror elements of this movie?
It wasn't, like, too much.
Too much? Was there any jump scares for you?
Well, I mean, you can kind of tell when they're coming.
Oh, okay. The only one that I thought was the actual one was, when she popped up at the underwater thing.
That was the only one that I particularly noticed, and that was when I had to like look away because I was like, it's gonna give me a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can't watch like horror movies because there are too many subgenres of horror that I can't handle. I can't handle psychological horror. I can't handle body horror, and I'm not really interested in like serial killer based horror.
Yeah.
My niche is very small and specific.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, more supernatural based, but also I feel like a lot of those kind of lean into, like, psychological horror, which is, like, the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
So I don't really intake a whole lot of horror.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like, much. This was kind of
did it feel different than other MCU films?
Yeah.
Did you like that, though? Do you want more of that?
This was the level that I like.
Okay.
Like, where it's not scary, but it's just, like, kind of ominous.
Yeah. With, like, the camera angles and, like, like her looking back in the mirror, like the picture at her and stuff like that. Honestly, one of my favorite parts was the when they were doing like the reflection thing. Like it looked cool when she was like had all the glass and she was using like it to pop out of the like
the contortionist.
Yeah, the contortion like coming out of the thing.
Yeah.
God, I love Wanda.
Like yes, like I like. It's weird because I like spooky things. Mm-hmm. It's just that I can't handle a whole lot. So it's just kind of interesting. It's a weird dichotomy with me, I feel like. But this is like the level that I like, where it's not scary, it's just kind of ominous. Yeah. That's the perfect level for me. Mm-hmm. Once I start delving into real horror, that's when like I start getting like anxiety attacks.
Yeah, like, nah, fuck this shit.
That's when it's like, oh, this isn't fun.
Yeah. I do hope they do more stuff like this though, and like more genre like movies. Because like we always talk about Age of Ultron because like it's forgettable because it's just like a generic superhero movie. Like
yeah,
I like things like this, and like I love how Hawkeye's just a Christmas show.
Yeah,
like it's just a Christmas show, and then we got like Winter Soldier, which is like an actual spy movie.
Yeah,
and then we got like movies that are like comedies, like Ant-Man and stuff like the actual comedies. But
Guardians,
I want them to experiment more and do cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mainly because fucking WandaVision is my favorite experiment they've done. I love that shit. Like that shit's fire, like front to back.
Yeah. I lost what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. I lost it. Damn.
We both lost one today.
We both lost one to the war.
Yeah.
It was just a multiverse thing, you know. We just slipped.
Right. What are you gonna do, you know?
I want, though. I don't know. I was very certain going into this movie that the antagonist was going to be another Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I thought for sure the demon was going to be like an evil Strange.
Like the evil one we saw in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was 100% sold. So when it was like immediately revealed that Wanda's the villain, it like gave me whiplash for a second.
Right. Like I knew she was going to be like not good, but like going full villain, yeah, I was not ready for that.
I was like, oh fuck, oh, she's the villain?
Right.
I was like, oh, that's weird.
It was hard, like, when you're, like, you're seeing, like, her fight, like, the good guys and people you care about, but you're like, get it, queen, kill them! Kill them!
I mean, she didn't fight that many people we care about.
I mean, she fought Doctor Strange and Wong and America.
Yeah, like, you know, it's only a handful of people.
Yeah. And then, like, yeah, it's not like there was people gonna die, but, like, she fucked up Carmel Tower, or whatever the fuck that place is called.
Yeah.
I was not ready
Camartage, right?
Camartage, yeah. When she fucking, like...
Did you call it camel toe?
Camel toe, yeah, you know, camel toe. No, but, it was cool seeing her go full power, though, like...
It is kind of funny, because, like, it almost feels a little bit like, Captain Marvel in the way where it kind of feels almost like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Just, like, firing energy blasts and shit. Mm-hmm. That's always what I compare shit to, but, like... It seems fitting.
Yeah.
I liked seeing, like, her using her psychological powers again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she hasn't used those a whole lot.
Like when she mind tricked the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't use them in combat a lot.
No, she used it on, like, people on Age of Ultron. Like
which I don't remember.
She did to like Tony, I think, or someone else.
That's probably why I knew she had that power at all.
I saw a shot like on Twitter of like all the time she had done it, and there was another one that she did. I don't remember where, but like
I mean, not counting the entire plot of WandaVision.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even mind tricking. That was just body controlling because they were conscious the whole time, right?
Yeah,
that was like the horror of that.
That was the horror of it. They were like they were suffering because like,
they were in agony.
They felt like the pain. Yeah.
And they got off screen, so they just had to freeze. Yeah. So I feel like that's been an underutilized power, so I liked seeing it.
Yeah.
And, like, the weird, like, horror sound effects whenever she was approaching.
Yeah.
Like the whispers.
Yeah. I fucking loved everything about Wanda in this. It's so good. I think her performance was also fucking incredible. The way, like, she delivered some lines, I'm like, ooh, hit me.
You got all moist.
Yeah. So what did you think of the Illuminati?
I mean...
As in... Did you like the cameos? Would you...
I mean...
Just about the scene, too, like when they fought Wanda. Just all of it.
It's... I don't know. Because on one hand, it worked really well to sell just how fucking terrifying Wanda is.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it made all of these people seem really underwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's also a little unfair when they're fighting someone who just controls reality.
Yeah. I think it helps that they had though like problems with Doctor Strange in their universe. Like we're not worried when he's there. It was like people were saying, and I'm like, it kind of makes sense. Like y'all should have been scared about Wanda. Like y'all be playing this way too nonchalant. Like we get you've had problems with Doctor Strange in your universe, but like come on now, y'all be prepared for Wanda, and also probably the hubris of having Black Bolt. Like we don't need anything; he'll take him out in a minute.
The hubris of Black Bolt. Yeah. See, I would have seen it as more of a problem if they survived longer. They had, like, the initial, like, oh, we can't trust Strange, we'll handle this ourselves. And then before they had time to even reconsider, they were all dead.
Yeah.
Like, if they would have, like... If, like, two of them would have died and the others would have retreated and they still would have not helped Strange, then I would have been like, oh, you're unfucking believable. Right. But they died so quickly that I buy it.
Yeah.
Like, they think they're the shit.
Right. They're like, we got rid of our Doctor Strange, no problems. Which is also kind of like, damn. Y'all, one incursion, you're like, we can't keep Doctor Strange.
He did kill, like, you know, trillions of people.
Yeah, two universes collided on each other.
You know, and we know each universe has...
Let's hope one of those was the Sony Morbius universe, though.
Hopefully. Like, we know, that's how Vulture ended up there. We know that, each universe also has, like, all the space shit. like Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor stuff. So they all have, thousands of inhabited worlds, like quadrillions of people. Maybe that's a worthy offense to kill him.
Yeah.
He did kill quadrillions of people. I'm comfortable saying quadrillions.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Especially if they each had their own TVAs. Because then you're getting into, like, octillions.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, just endless at that point, but... And also, he was being corrupted.
Yeah, wait. Did he have the...
He had the black fingers.
Oh, he had the Darkhold.
He had the little fingies. Yeah.
It's interesting that the Darkhold, when Wanda destroyed it at the end, like, destroyed it in all universes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I guess.
What if she consumed it and she is the Darkhold now? But she...
I don't think anyone can hear you.
Because we're going to see her again. Or I will not watch the MCU again.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will.
I'm going to cast my die and say she's dead.
You think this Wanda 616, I love how we have to do this now, is dead.
Yes.
For good.
Mm-hmm. For one reason.
Yeah.
Infinitely OP.
I mean, is she though? Well, she is. Okay, but they can have people match her power. They got Captain Marvel. They got fucking probably like Galactus and some shit. Like there's people that...
I'm just saying that her presence makes pretty much any, like... Her presence makes 90% of the characters completely useless.
Here's a question. Did the Darkhold make her power more powerful? Significantly more powerful.
That's the only way that I could see it, like, if they were to bring her back.
Yeah. To be fair, she was already one of the strongest without the Darkhold.
Yeah.
So,
like, they already...
that's why the brutality of this thing was, like, cool.
Yeah. Oh, no, I loved it, but it's, like, one of those things where it's like, I don't know what they can really do with her.
See, here's the thing, though. I don't care if she's in the Avengers. I just want her doing her own shit. Like, just keep exploring her trauma. Like,
I don't know. The thing is, I can see it being her end.
I would be devastated because I think she deserves better. Because I feel like a big complaint I've been seeing online about the Wanda handling is how, one, I feel like she didn't seem like that far gone in WandaVision to become full villain, and also it played way too much into the trope of I am like a woman being in her feelings, so that's why she's bad. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's a whole issue on its own.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I just feel like that would do a disservice to like the whole WandaVision and this arc to not see her like actually try to come back from it.
Yeah.
Also, Elizabeth Olsen is too hot not to be in the MCU. Come on, let's be real.
Christ.
She's perfect.
I don't know. At least 30% of the reason why I'm set on it is just so I can be the opposite of you.
Yeah.
So then one of us will be right.
Here's a real question. Whether she is alive or dead or not, do you want to see her again?
I'm not
going to answer this question because
we already know.
The audience knows my answer.
We know. I mean, I'd be okay with it.
Okay.
I'm not like against it.
Yeah, but you're not like craving it.
No, I'm not. I'm not big simping.
Yeah, I'm big simping.
You're big simping. I am more. I mean, the only reason why I would more lean towards yes is just because there aren't a whole lot of characters that are active.
Yeah, we're like, where are we going right now?
What's happening?
Because like, let's be honest, we know the next movie is Thor: Love and Thunder, which has nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
We got Miss Marvel, which is space stuff inevitably because she's going to be part of the Marvels. We got Black Panther, which is doing its own Black Panther shit. Like, we still don't know what the fuck we're leading to. I don't think we're going to know anytime soon either.
Oh, we're not going to know for a few years.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, like, because they're doing the same thing that they did the first time.
Yeah.
Like, the real slow burn, like, just a bunch of solo project.
Yeah. Which I like, though, yeah.
And then after a while, starting to hint towards something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we'll see anything, like, big picture for a long time.
I feel like the biggest threat we got now until... So, I bet we lead... Well, we're clearly leading to Secret Wars.
Huh?
Secret Wars. I'm not even... Honestly, this is what people... I don't know what Secret Wars really is.
We don't read comics.
But that's what everyone says we're relating to, and I believe them. But I feel like... Here's my theory.
Okay.
Secret Wars is about multiverse stuff and has lots to do with the incursions, right?
I guess.
So, when... That's all going to lead to Kang.
Is it the guy in Loki?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that's going to lead to a 5th Avengers movie in like 5 years. Or 4 years, hopefully. I don't want to spend too much time in the multiverse. And just like the end of Avengers 1, that's when we'll tease the...
Oh, so he's not the big bad?
I mean, I feel like he's the Loki of, like, Phase 1. Like,
it's funny, because if you would have asked me before this movie came out, I thought Wanda was going to be the Loki.
I feel like she is the Loki.
Well, like I meant more of, like, the combined threat. Like, everyone having to team up to fight her.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's what if you asked me before this movie, I would have thought, like, oh yeah, Act 1, more or less, would have been dealing with Wanda.
Yeah.
And then, like, Kang is, like, the Thanos.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who the Ultron would be, but do we need a middle one?
No. We definitely don't need an Ultron. It'll just be Ultron again. From the multiverse.
Yeah, because I didn't remember he happened. Like, that's what I would have thought going into this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what Secret Wars here is. Here we go, plot summary.
You have no fucking idea.
A cosmic entity called the Beyonder observes the mainstream Marvel universe, so like the Watcher, I guess. This is not helping me.
Well, it's also you're reading like an entire arc Wikipedia page. You're going to be here for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird too. It's like eventually you assume we're gonna get Magneto, right? Like, as a big bad, like with the X-Men.
Is he strong enough to be big bad?
Yeah, Magneto would be a good big bad. Magneto's awesome.
I don't know. I've never seen...
He can control steel.
Well, I know what his power is, but I don't know the extent of his power.
The Holocaust.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's his backstory.
Oh, I thought you meant his power.
No. That's his trauma. No, that's his trauma.
You really scared me for a second there.
Yeah.
I was like, is Magneto Hitler?
No. I mean...
I thought that was Red Skull.
Yeah, that's Red Skull. But yeah.
Yeah, it's also kind of funny, because I know that this is thinking way too far in advance. Mm-hmm. But it is also funny to think, like, well, what could physically be a threat after multiversal stuff?
I mean, like Galactus and Doctor Doom, right? Those are like the two big ones.
They're like strong enough to be on par with like multiversal threats.
Well, multiversal threats are like... Are multiversal threats like that big?
Well, like, because I assume it's like, you know...
Multiverse threats are just like...
I always would assume that they would be like, you know...
People fucking with the timeline, right?
I would always like...
Or like... we're not gonna get like a Thanos when other viewers coming in here and fucking shit up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was more just thinking like... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's weird. That's what... It's exciting, though, not knowing.
Oh, yeah.
We just need to, like... Yeah, I don't know.
We need to time travel 35 years in the future and see.
Right. We just need to not... I learned my hard lesson with this movie. We just can't get expectations up there too high for these movies right now.
Anything multiversal.
We're never going to have another... Like, we're not going to have an Endgame. We're not going to have an Infinity War. We're not going to have a No Way Home for a while.
Yeah. Well, like... I could see us having the amount of people from, like, No Way Home. It's just No Way Home in particular was, like, so hyped because it was other movies.
Because No Way Home was, like, a weird thing because, like, it lived up to the hype, even though I knew what was happening before I saw the movie, which is like insane to me that happened.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing will ever top Endgame or Infinity War hype-wise, at least for a long time. I hope we reach those heights again, but
I could also see it never hitting that height again.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty big...
As you guys know, we're Star Wars channels here, and nothing will ever hit the height of Empire Strikes Back in 1981, you know? Like, that was when cinema truly was the best.
It was like 45 years...
All Star Wars since then, trash.
It was like 45 years before I was born.
Right? It's all Star Wars trash except Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch our Rise of Skywalker review.
Why that one?
Because that one doesn't exist.
No, we have like 20 videos about Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, we do have a Rise of Skywalker review. Yeah.
You do realize that we did a night one review, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
We were really positive.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And then the trauma set in.
Yeah. Oh, the trauma.
We're not talking about T-Ross here.
Yeah, we're talking about my way too high expectations for this movie.
We're talking about your wife. Wanda. I'm kind of surprised that they're like you said earlier, like I'm kind of surprised that there was just no, like, not even seeing Vision.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It is, yeah.
Because also Vision wasn't a character until after he died.
Right? Like, yeah.
Who gave a fuck about Vision until WandaVision?
Not me.
Did anyone? Is there a person on this planet who cared about the MCU Vision? I'm sure Comic Vision.
I'm sure there's someone who was Vision's fan from the comics, like Vision's their favorite character and loved them in the MCU, even though they weren't that interesting.
Yeah, I'm talking purely MCU here. The MCU Vision isn't even really a character until he dies.
I mean, I think his biggest fan is Wanda in the MCU, you know?
Well, yeah.
Because, like, shit, the fans didn't care about him until WandaVision.
Yeah.
So the only person who liked him before that was Wanda.
Yeah.
Like, Tony didn't even like him that much, and he created him.
No one cared.
Yeah.
He also didn't do anything. Because he had that weird problem of, like, kind of ambiguous powers and seemingly being able to just stop anything.
Yeah.
So they just couldn't let him do anything.
Like, how do you let that man pick up the hammer? Like, Thor. Like, you know? Like...
Did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Age of Ultron.
Oh.
Forgettable, yeah.
Is that where Vision came from?
Yeah, that's where he was made. That's where he came from, yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't know where I thought he came from. I don't know if I thought he just popped out of the ether.
But not, yeah.
That's just wild.
It really is.
Man, he was in the MCU since Age of Ultron and still did nothing until he died. That's kind of sad.
I mean, he did do some stuff before that, but we didn't find out about it.
Who's more forgettable, Vision or Quicksilver?
Quicksilver.
Yeah, it's fair.
Easily. Like, Vision's great now. I love Vision.
I like Vishon.
Yeah, of course.
Personally.
We had Vishon, and now we have White Vision.
Cataract, right?
I don't remember what his name is.
Wasn't that his name? I remember thinking it was kind of stupid, but like it made sense because it's something that blocks vision.
Yeah, cataract, I think. Whoa.
Thinking with their brain.
Stop his brain from working.
The only thing I ever remember about Vision is that the funniest looking frame of all time when Thanos picks him up. I don't know why that is so hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, you know, even if he wasn't too much of a character until WandaVision, it's weird that he wasn't, like, even shown at any point.
Yeah. I think it would have helped, like,
and they only mentioned him once.
Yeah. She was like, Viz had his theories. I did kind of like that reveal, though. That, like...
The forest?
Yeah, like, oh, fuck. I didn't catch it right away that she said America.
I caught it, but I, like, didn't put the pieces together that it was because she was the villain.
Yeah.
I was, like, still trying to, like, process it when the whole illusion fell away.
Yeah.
I like the blood moon. Or the blood sun. Or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, if that is true, that was like a 2-year period between the end of WandaVision and that, I kind of want another TV show of her just like with the Darkhold. like at what she was doing, you know.
Yeah.
If she was up to any shenanigans.
It seems so weird.
Yeah. If she was like controlling people just for fun.
I mean, she had to have gotten the orchard from someone.
Yeah.
You think she bought it?
No, she destroyed it.
Well, yeah, she turned it into the Blood Moon. I liked Doctor Strange becoming a Lich King. It's what it was!
Yeah.
Using the souls of the damned as wings.
That was pretty badass.
That's pretty Lich King. That's pretty Necromancer shit.
Yeah.
I want to see, like... I want to see, like, a full Necromancer in, like, the MCU.
That would be cool.
We've already established that there are already, what, like, 4 different branches of magic?
Yeah. What was, could Red Skull on Vortimir be a necromancer, possibly?
He didn't do anything.
I mean, but he was, like, ghostly.
What do you think a necromancer is?
I literally have no idea.
They use the dead as thralls.
Yeah.
Minions.
They use the dead to get the soul stone, yeah.
Oh my god. He didn't control the dead.
I could see that happening, like, if they do Marvel Zombies or, like, at some point, like, in canon.
I feel like it would be, like, a type of enemy that Strange would fight.
Yeah.
We've already established that there's sorcerers, witches, which are 2 different things. Like, 2 completely different scales of magic.
Yeah.
And then, like, I know there was more than that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There were more, like...
There definitely is more.
There were more, like, subtypes of magic. And I was like, huh?
Fascinating.
I mean, it's interesting and kind of funny. And inevitable when you're combining comic book universes.
Yeah.
That there's just going to be, like, 100 different types of power.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny, like, the distinctions. Like, one's like, oh, that's not sorcery.
I know you haven't seen Moon Knight yet.
Yeah.
But the MCU has been doing a really good job about, like, distinguishing things, like, between, like you said, all, like, sorcery, magic.
Witchcraft.
And then in, like, Moon Knight, and, like, they do a good job with, like, all the, like, the gods.
Like, their type of magic is a 3rd branch?
No, like, all, like, just, like, you know how we have the, like, the gods, the Thor gods, like, the, like, and then, like, there's Greek gods and the Egyptian gods. They do a good job of, like, having them all coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also so funny. Like, one thing that I don't think I'll ever fully, like, get over in the MCU is the fact that, like, the Thor gods are just in space.
Yeah. They're just chilling.
They're just in space. Like, it's not like Asgard and Midgard and all these places are, like, their own realms. They're just planets.
No, Midgard's your own.
Midgard was Earth.
Yeah, that was...
It's just a planet.
Yeah, they're all just
I'm saying that it's all...
They're less, like...
It's just in space.
Yeah.
Like, you could have, like, Guardians of the Galaxy spaceships flying over Asgard.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, that just seems so funny to me, because they seem so contradictory. Like, you have the Thor-type people, but then you have, like, sci-fi.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, right next to each other. I had always thought before Ragnarok that, like, the Thor worlds were, like, different than space.
Yeah, okay.
Because they made it seem, you know, they're like, oh, only the Bifrost can transport you and shit. And I was like, oh, so this is, like, different realms and shit.
Well, isn't it different realms?
No, but they're just in space. I mean, like, like pocket dimension shit.
Dimension, okay.
Like, where it's like, you go to Asgard, and that's just it. It's Asgard.
Oh, okay.
Like in...
But you could fly from Asgard to...
You could just fly.
Yeah, because they did that at the end of Ragnarok. They just flew out and they're in space, and then...
They flew to Earth.
Yeah.
Like, you can just... It's just in space.
Yeah.
And I just think that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Because it really makes the Thor gods seem not that special. They're just aliens.
Yeah.
Which I guess was kind of a plot point in the first Thor, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me.
Some say first Thor more memorable than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say Thor the Dark World's more memorable than Age of Ultron just because I hated Thor the Dark World.
Yeah.
I had feelings about it.
The only MCU movie that
is bad. Is canonically bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We miss anything? Anything we want to talk about before we end? I'm trying to think. I
Wong's keeping up his streak.
Love Wong, yes.
Every MCU movie.
Yeah, hell yes. Keep it going. I like how the opening lines too were in Spanish, and Defender Strange just speaking Spanish. And then I like the jokes they made about Doctor Strange in the cafeteria or the restaurant. I don't even feel like speaking English.
It is. Yeah, I was so confused by the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the idea. I do kind of like the idea that anytime you dream, it's an alternate reality. That
is cool. I do like that. So I've heard some people complain about that, but I'm like, I kind of like that.
That's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah. It's like when do your dreams actually reflect your real life very often, you know?
Well, but it's also a matter of, I would say a large portion of people have not completely nonsensical dreams.
Yeah.
That don't.
Yeah.
And then, you have like lucid dreaming, which would contradict that, unless that's just dream walking.
Yeah. True, there you go.
But if you're accidentally dream walking, then everyone would be corrupted.
I also really like the idea that you're because some dreams are a reflection of you, right?
Yeah.
Of your desires sometimes and your fears.
A lot of theories state that it's how you process things.
Yeah. I really like the idea that Doctor Strange could know that there's a universe where he's happy with Christine because he probably dreams about it. I like the idea of that being be able to be peaceful for some people. Once they that could be at least I know somewhere out there one of the versions of me is happy with because I dreamt it.
Well, that's ultimately how they convinced Wanda.
Yeah. Well, didn't they convince Wanda by scaring the shit out of her?
I mean, yes, but then also
or her worst fear coming true of
that, and then
children
also
being scared of her.
That, and then also the alternate Wanda was hey, at least they'll be loved.
Yeah.
And I guess hearing it from herself was enough.
Yeah.
Even though it's funny because it's I get the point is they had to shock her with the horrific fear.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because it was just the same point that had been brought up to her before. So a little different when you're hearing it from yourself versus Strange.
Yeah.
This man that she's met twice.
Yeah. Okay, I've thought of one more thing we can discuss for sure. Okay, I've heard this talked about on one of the podcasts I was listening to, and after rewatching the movie, after hearing about it, it's interesting. The thing they do in this movie, this movie starts to question if that was the only way to get out of Infinity War. Multiple times throughout this movie, they question it. You got the Doctor, you got even on the other universes, we see more of Strange doing strange things, and you're it's very clear Strange is not a morally gray character. He's very black and white.
Yeah.
So, and they even make reference to multiple times you always have to be the one holding the knife. You have to be the hero, or you have to have the glory.
You have to have the power.
You have the power or the glory. So was there another way where he dies?
It's also one of those things where he didn't look at enough timelines.
Yeah, he's I found a timeline where I don't die, but Tony has to make a sacrifice. That's good enough for me.
Well, it's also, you can only look at so many.
Yeah.
But he did only look at, 1 point something million.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, infinite timelines, it can't have been the only way. It's illogical for it to have been the only way, considering that timelines are infinite.
Yeah. I really hope they explore that, though.
Yeah.
And be and it turns out, shit, it wasn't the only way. And, how that would reflect on Doctor Strange and,
I have to imagine at least part of it is, just kind of my nerd brain trying to comprehend it. I feel the way that he would have looked at it was seeing, very similar, timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And just, kind of, testing each variable and moving out one at a time. And so this was just the first one that he saw where they won.
Yeah.
And just took that as, okay, we need to do this. But, whereas, if he would have just kept going...
Mm-hmm.
He stopped his query before he found multiple answers. He stopped at answer number 1.
Yeah, and also
that's my headcanon for now until they explore it some more.
I really hope they do too, because that's like, what if like this was the only one where like he, like how he was talking about how he was scared with Christine and all that shit, and like they're really, maybe he's like, he found one where they were also happy but he was too scared to do it. That was a better, like they can explore some shit with that, you know?
Yeah, because I'm sure that it, you know, there definitely were other ways they could have won.
Yeah, there's no way there's only one way, like you were saying.
And yeah.
And I never thought to question that till now.
I mean, I had thought about it, but I never, like, really put too much thought into it, because I was just, my thought process was always like, well, they can't, you know, how are you gonna, you can't really write it in a way where it's like there's only one possible solution.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very difficult thing to write when you have someone who can look through time.
Yeah.
Because in any, you know, work of fiction, you can look at the events and be like, oh, if they would have done this, they would have won. You can look at that in anything.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, well, I didn't, you know, I was like, there's definitely more ways to win, but also narratively, you can't, like,
yeah,
just ruins the narrative then.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, if we just would have done this and this and this, then we would have won. Like,
right.
Sometimes you have to suspend your disbelief for good storytelling.
Yeah. And also, like, the variables like that were like, they could have won multiple ways, but maybe that's the only way where you win and everyone comes back.
Yeah, or maybe that's like the way with the least deaths.
Yeah.
Like Tony is the like only one who died there. So, you know, maybe there were other ways they could have won, but like half of them died. Or yeah, like, or ones where just no one came back. Because I know, I mean, they had said before, like, oh, you were the one who gave Thanos the Time Stone. But like, everyone on that planet would have just died if they didn't give him the Time Stone. He would have just killed them all and took it anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, there weren't enough of them to have any way of beating him, since Star-Lord punched him in the face. But it is interesting. I do want to explore the idea of him having a lot of guilt over Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. I feel like they could maybe lead something interesting, too, with him and Spider-Man again, where, like, with that, because it was his relationship with Tony and like all that stuff, they could do cool stuff.
I'm always so fascinated now with anytime they mention Spider-Man post No Way Home.
Oh yeah, because he just said Spider-Man, he didn't say anything else.
Well, because he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
But that also just kind of breaks my brain, because it's like, how is it like, does his like recollection of the events of Infinity War, did that like completely change where just Peter never took off the mask?
Yeah, it has to, right?
Like, that's where it like starts to break my brain a little. I'm like, how does he know Spider-Man exists but doesn't know he's Peter?
Right. They just don't remember him without the mask on.
Yeah, it has to be like he just remembers him with only the mask on.
Yeah.
And then also it's just funny then, because then your memory has to become no one questioned who the fuck this kid is. Yeah. I mean, I guess the scapegoat there is everyone would just think, oh, Tony knew.
Yeah, superheroes with identities, it's a thing.
I mean, not really that many in the MCU.
Yeah, they really don't have secret identities in the...
It's really just Peter.
I want more secret identities in the MCU, you know?
To be fair,
or at least one good one.
Yeah.
One good thrilling one.
I kind of like it better when people know, though.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of fall into a lot of the same plot points.
Yeah, to be fair, they did to the standard with Iron Man, where then he's just like, I'm Iron Man. So, like,
yeah.
They don't need to really do that kind of shit anyway.
Like, I feel like there are only so many plot lines you can do where just no one knows the identity of the hero. Like, you're kind of always going to fall into the same tropes, I feel like.
Yeah. You leave that trope to the villains, you know? Like, who the fuck's this guy?
Well, and in a lot of cases for the villains, it's who the fuck is this guy? Oh, I don't care, he's dead.
Yeah.
Killing all their villains. But yeah.
Yeah. I think we covered everything.
The deaths were brutal.
I loved it. The brutality, creepiness.
The men's deaths were fucking...
exceptionally brutal. Like, when the dude's head exploded from the inside, I'm like...
I thought I was watching The Boys for a second
right?
there.
That was a boys' kill I'd ever seen one.
Well, and then, like, the Mr. Fantastic one was really, like, freaky.
Twisted him up and his head just... Poof.
Well, it was just he kept growing.
Yeah.
And then just, like, his limbs kept, like, popping off. That's gotta be, like, the most painful way that anyone died.
Yeah. Oh, no. Remember how I said there was one part that made me weirdly emotional?
Yeah, yeah.
You want to guess what that was? I didn't cry. I thought I mainly because I didn't think Wanda was actually dead, so it didn't get me. or I didn't. It felt surreal and it was overwhelming. But
what would have emotionally gotten?
It was weird. It wasn't like I started like I got chills. And,
I don't know.
It's weird. It's a weird one for sure.
Yeah, I legitimately I can't even think of like a scene that would have done it.
It was when Wanda and Captain Carter were fighting. It got me weirdly emotional because I'm like, no, don't hurt each other. And also, like, she said, like, I could do this all day. And I'm like, oh. And then, like, I'm like, no, don't kill each other. You're like two of my favorites. Don't fight. And it just made me weirdly emotional.
Bisected.
Fucking torn in half.
It's funny that the last one alive got the least brutal death.
I don't know,
just getting crushed.
Yeah.
That's a very standard death. Captain America there got cut in half.
Right. Not gonna lie, it'd be low-key kind of
Jim from The Office got all of his limbs repeatedly ripped off, and the other guy's head blew up.
Right.
The Captain Marvel there really got lucky with her death.
Yeah. It'd be low-key bussin' just to, like, see... What?
It just caught me off guard. It'd be low-key bussin'.
I kind of want to see, like... I don't want a lot, but I kind of want to see what that universe does after...
Like, everyone dead.
Yeah, like, what do they do? Like... That'd be interesting to see, but, like, I don't need to see it.
It's also interesting because it's like, you don't know which heroes are around.
Yeah. Like, we know Wanda's around, but was she even a hero? Or is she just, like, mom with powers that maybe they possibly didn't know about?
Yeah, I feel like she was just a mom with powers.
Yeah.
It goes into that interesting territory of where, I mean, we don't know who the Avengers are in our universe, but...
I love, though, too, how she's like, I just don't want to be with my kids, but, like, is there not a universe where Vision's alive? Like... What? Like...
Oh, yeah!
Like, what?
Also, who was the dad?
Vision.
But Vision's dead every time.
Yeah, every time.
No universe.
No universe as he survives.
That is weird.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
She created WandaVision for Vision.
She just got...
attached to the kids.
But to be fair, at the end of WandaVision, she lets that part go. She becomes at peace with that. But then the Darkhold is like taunting her kids at her, and then she gets corrupted by it.
But you think it also would have taunted Vision at her?
That's what I'm saying. It'd be so much more impactful if she like forgot about she came to peace with Vision, but in these things he would pop up and be like, "What are you doing?" Like she goes to one where the kids and like, "Oh, Vision's here too," and then he starts to question her. And
how would Vision have been the dad? How did they breed?
I mean, I don't know.
Does Vision have a cock?
Yes.
These are the questions that I need to know, Kevin Feige.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
Kevin Feige, let me know. Can Vision nut inside someone and get them pregnant?
Yes.
I need to know this.
How does he make them?
How does he create things?
Yeah.
Didn't they say? I don't remember. Wasn't he like a homunculus, basically, like a human-made body, but it was like a biological body? Wasn't that a thing?
Who, Vision?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't the stone make his
wasn't
body?
Wasn't it like a special body that it... Well, wasn't it like... I don't remember.
I think it was created by the stone,
Maybe
right?
we need to watch Age of Ultron again.
I'm feeling like we have to.
Maybe that'll answer whether or not he has a cock.
Yeah, we need to stop watching this now and recording and watch it right now.
I'm good.
But yeah, I feel like we covered everything.
Yeah.
It's been a long
like the fourth time we're trying to end this.
Yeah. Tell us what you guys thought. Tell us if you want us to do more Marvel. Do you want us to do weekly reviews of Miss Marvel? Tell us what you want. MCU. I'm ready to dive in, and soon we'll come out with our official MCU rankings.
That'd be a funny one to start on, doing weekly reviews.
Yeah, tell us what you thought. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us if you're part of Wanda Nation, Wanda Supremacy. Are you here for it? Wanda, the reign of Wanda. She can do no wrong.
Or are you part of me? The regular people.
The regular people.
Not big simpin'.
Not big simpin'. Not at all. But yeah, like, subscribe, share. And until next time, what is grief, if not love, persevering?